In other news, scores of DENOSA-affiliated nurses protested at the Gauteng Premier's office earlier. They're demanding wage hikes and the filling of vacant positions. The Nurses' Labour Union is also now marching this afternoon to the Departments of Health and Treasury in the province. My colleague, reporter Gauteng Whittle, is covering that story for us. He's joining us now live from one of the locations of this demonstration this afternoon. Good afternoon, Gauteng. Welcome to Today. Thanks for your time. Where are you at now?
We're outside the Premier's office at the moment, Bradan. We've reached the location where they'll hand over the memorandums, and I'll try to give you some footage now. On stage is Mr. Simon Hlongwane. He's the president of DENOSA. He was leading this march along with COSATU's provincial secretary, obviously DENOSA's provincial secretary, and other affiliates as well. Communication Workers Union General Secretary Aubrey Shabalala addressing the gathering a short while ago. Right now, Mr. Hlongwane going through the list of demands in the memorandum, and they include the absorption of workers, community healthcare workers who haven't been taken on permanently by the Gauteng government as yet, the filling of vacant posts, which they say is responsible for the long lines we see at the hospitals and the long waits at the clinics, but moreover the payment of the outstanding salaries of at least 20 nurses who have not been paid, and then a general improvement of the working conditions. Earlier we brought you the union leaders. It's time to speak to some of the nurses now. Joining me right now is one of these nurses. Ma'am, could you just tell us your full name and surname and where you're working and what kind of working conditions you're currently experiencing?
Okay, my name is Gloria Stati. I work at Gauteng Main Clinic, that is at Mirafo. I'm a professional nurse, as you can see, fully qualified, but today we have come here because of the conditions that we're working under. First of all, if you go to school by yourself, you don't get recognized for specialties, and you still do the job that you're expected to do as a specialist, and the government is not recognizing us. You know, unless you have been sent by them to school, then only then that they will recognize your specialty and pay you. So we're still working with our specialties and not getting paid for it.
That's one of the areas you're looking for compensation. If you could get the Gauteng government to change the way that the Department of Health is managing its community healthcare workers, its nurses, what kind of changes would you make?
The changes would be for them to recognize that we need more nurses out there, and in our communities the population has grown a lot, and the ratio between nurses and the communities that we have to take care of is not equal. We have a ratio of 1 to like 200 patients, 1 to 100 patients a day, you know, that you have to look after. And the patients out there and the communities are complaining about us when we don't have enough staff. As I speak right now, there are people who have retired. There are people who have resigned and gone to other places, and those people are not getting replaced.
Is your clinic short-staffed?
It is short-staffed. It is short-staffed. Even right now, at the clinic, there is a ComServe nurse who couldn't be in this march today because of staff shortage. And she herself, she has got issues that she is not happy with.
All right, let's leave it right there. But then, as you can see, that the reception that the nurses have given the Gauteng government officials hasn't been warm at all. Some of them are waiting and listening to the speeches. You'll see them just out of shot there. They're getting ready to respond to some of these strong words that have been given by some of the nurses. I have another nurse here with me right now, and we'll try to get some more information about what it's been like. Ma'am, could you just tell me what your name and surname is, where exactly do you work, and what are your working conditions or the experiences that have brought you here?
Okay, my name is Priscilla Mhlotshazana. I'm a professional nurse. I'm working at Randburg Clinic. I'm working for Province, but Province doesn't provide mental health. So we are accommodated. Local government doesn't provide, so we are allocated at the local clinic. We squash their conditions are very, very appalling. We are, when there's no electricity like now, when there is load shedding, the clinic is dark, no backup, nothing. We're supposed to use our cell phones to make sure that we are checking the files and everything. Sometimes there's no water. When you ask management, we were told that there's a SOP, which is standard operation procedures that are supposed to be used. Like now, when there's no electricity, we must be relocated to other clinics, and patients must be relocated to other clinics. But the challenge is even those clinics don't have electricity. So it's frustrating when there's this problem of load shedding. And also when there's problem of water, we are being thrown under the bus by management because we're expected to work. So it's very, very disturbing, and it's frustrating at the end of the day because we go and work and we don't give the service that our communities deserve.
Let's get to that. How does it affect patients? What's been your experience been?
Patients also, they get affected because even the shelters where they are supposed to sit, when it's raining, there are no shelters. When it's hot, there are no shelters. When it's extremely cold, like it's winter now, there are no shelters, and they were promised that there will be shelters. So patients also are frustrated. We're all frustrated, and with management, that I will say they don't care. At the end of the day, if ever there's any litigation that comes up from the patients, we as nurses will be told that we are victims, we are culprits, instead of us being victims, because we are victims of the circumstances.
All right, thank you so much, ma'am. So strong statements there, and she's outlined some of the daily experiences, problems that nurses are facing. Just off camera, while that was happening, the people here clearly want the HOD at the Department of Health to come and accept the memorandum herself, but the HOD is not here. They've sent a representative from the Department of Health, and the members of DENOSA clearly not happy with her not being present. They've identified the Department of Health as the source of their problems, and they hope that this march will address some of those problems more directly. And we'll, of course, be here until we get those responses from the Gauteng government to see what they'll do about the problems raised by these nurses. For now, it's back to you, Badan.
Okay, thank you very much, Govan Whittles. We'll let you carry on there, following the proceedings there. DENOSA presenting its memorandum of demands to local Gauteng government officials outside the Premier's office, including, of course, they want to hear from the Department of Health. We'll carry on, of course, watching the situation on the ground. Any developments, Govan Whittles will update us later.